What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the list that I pulled to reach out to a homeowner, help them out of a situation, and then made $300,000 on a single flip. If you want to see that list, stick around. And then I'm going to give you another couple lists at the very end, so make sure you're sticking around all the way till the end. Let's go. That's right. Yes. So glad you guys are here. So this was actually right about the same time. We're in April right now. And this was right about the same time last year where I reached out to this homeowner. They were on this list that we're going to be talking about here in a second. And just let them know that we were here to offer a helping hand. It ended up being this whole crazy situation, which we'll get into it. And at the end of the day, we helped them out. They were able to move to Mexico, and then we took over the property, fixed it up, completely rehabbed it, put it back on the market, and it sold within a week. It was a lot of fun, a lot of great experience. And then at the same time, we were able to help the seller out of a really sticky situation. So we're going to be talking about two lists today. Let's go ahead and get rid of that background music so we can really hone in on it. And the first one is we're going to be talking about notice of default. And what this means is these are people who are behind on their mortgage payments. And so they're basically raising their hand saying, hey, I am in a situation and I possibly need help. And that's all we're going to do. We're going to reach out and we're going to say, hey, I just want to let you know that you have resources. You have options like loan mod. You have options like California mortgage relief or whatever state you're in. You have option of, listing it or, turning it into maybe you tell them that they can go and get a personal loan from somebody that they know and you just coach them. Basically, we're offering some sort of value. And then at the end of the day, if none of those work, if they just want to sell, then you're there to purchase the property if that's what you want to end up doing. In this case that I'm talking about where we made $300K, it was actually on this other list that we're going to bring up, and that is the auction list. And that is when they've gone through 3 months of default. This is here in California specifically. It may be different in your state, so make sure to look this up. And then they have 21 days before their property gets sold on the courthouse steps. So that is a timeline that is blaring at them. The clock is ticking, and with this particular property, that's exactly what happened. We had about 3 days to close before the bank was going to take back the property. And what you're going to find with these types of sellers is that a lot of them, they're in denial. 1, 2, they are getting blown up by tons of other people. They're getting blown up by attorneys, mortgage people, lenders, other investors. And so it's a whole onslaught of input from other people. You don't know who to trust. But that's where you come in. You're going to try and build rapport with the seller, let them know that you're there to help, and you're just going to try and connect with the person on the other end. And that's exactly what I ended up doing. I connected with this seller. Let me pull up the property so you guys can see this here. So here we go. So this is the property. Let me scroll down to the history. We bought it for about $700. Listed it for $1,050,000 and then ended up selling it for 1.1. Took about $50,000 in repairs, but you do the math. I think at the end of the day we cleared about $320. There was a whole lot that went into it. The seller was a little bit difficult to work with. He straight off the bat when I talked to him was like, I am going to want to sell. I want to get out of California. I want to leave the country. I want to do my own thing. He had gone through like, a really like nasty divorce situation. And, it's just things happen in people's lives. And then this comes on top of it. They lost their job, couldn't make the payments anymore. And at the end of the day, you're going to lose whatever equity you have in the property, and the bank's going to take that back. They're going to take possession of the house. And so basically that's what I explained to him. We tried 100 different ways. The seller's brother was an agent. I was like, hey, why don't you have your brother list it? They, I guess, weren't on good terms. He couldn't list it. One, there wasn't enough time at that point, but I'm just like, where is everybody? Where's your family to help you out of this situation? And so we were there. We were trying to stall the auction as many times as we could. I was on the phone for days trying to get through to somebody at the servicing company, which is the person that is in charge of, collecting the payments. And they're just like, no, we're not going to stop it. And what they'll do oftentimes is you'll say, hey, I have a purchase agreement. We just need some more time to close. And they'll say, hey, yeah, check back in like 2 to 3 business days. Well, by that time, it's like you're burning up time. And that's exactly what happened. And so we were getting down to the wire, and the seller hadn't signed yet. And I'm like, hey, you need to figure out something. Whether you work with me or not, you need to figure out something here so you can get your equity out of this property. And so finally, he's like, okay, I want to sell to you. Can we sign tomorrow? I was like, no, we got to do this tonight. And so we drove over to his house. He's like, yeah, come on over. Drove over to his house. We walked the property, made sure the repairs were something that were, that was doable. There wasn't anything crazy like the roof caving in or a huge, slab, crack in the slab or anything like that. And so it looked good on our end. We came up to the highest price that we could and then signed that day, then pretty much opened escrow the next day, and then got the payoff. And there ended up being like 2 or 3 other liens from the divorce attorney that we had to track down. And there was a HELOC from some old credit card or something like that, that we had to track down the payoff in order to pay all these things off before the property went to auction. And so it literally came down to the wire. It was like a pretty stressful situation. He's freaking out. He's like, you gotta, because I kept telling him, hey, if it comes, if the time passes, then you're not getting anything. And so we had the cash ready to go, and we sent the wire. And then finally the trustee, which is a person who's in charge of, handling the auction, called me. It was like, hey, okay, you got your money in time. This was literally within like an hour of the cutoff. She's like, you got it in time. I just got word from the lender that they're not going to foreclose. And so that was a huge, huge relief to everybody. And then what we ended up doing was, because he needed 60 days to move out, we held some cash back in escrow and then gave him that time, helped him move out and all that kind of stuff. So it was a wild ride. And to be able to help somebody out of that situation, like we were meeting up for lunch later, like days later, and he was like, man, you really helped me. It's a really satisfying and fulfilling thing to do. So that being said, let's jump into the list. I want to show you guys how to look these people up. It's really quite simple. You can go to certain sites. So this year I ended up signing up for like somebody to go to the courthouse steps, or a company that says they have people that go to the courthouse steps. But in California, you don't need that. You can just look it up right here. So what we're going to do, let's put this in here. Let's go Orange County. You put in wherever you want to find like these people. So you put that in there. You go Orange County, and then you can put in just auctions right here. But I'd like to go a little bit further. So leave that blank. Come down here. Open this up. Click auctions right there. And then the most important thing is you're going to want to push out this auction date for, somewhere in the future. Now, if you just pull this drop down, it's not you still have to come down here into the calendar and make sure you're at least give yourself 2 weeks. So today's April 10th. We're going to go anybody who has an auction after April 24th. And then, then you see right here, it's pulling up these people. Wow. Look at that. That's a big one. That's a doozy. Laguna Niguel, $5 million house. They are under watch horror. So yeah, you come down here, and you can find, all the people, right there. And so we're going to make a list. You click on this, add to list, and then I just go, Orange County auction list, April 2024 or whatever. You make the list, you export it, you skip trace it, and then you start reaching out to them. Now, if you find somebody that's local, go to their door and knock on the door. Or you can try just calling him. You can try hand dialing him. I mean, you see right here, there's only 18 of them. So it's not too many to handle. So you could hit up these people all the time. You could text them. That's what I ended up doing. I texted the guy. And the way you approach it is, let me see. I have the foreclosure script right here too. You say, hey, this is the exact script. Tonality is key. So, hey, it's Alex. How are you? Yeah, I'm calling because 123 Main Street popped up on my list of properties that might be having troubles with the bank. You put it on the bank. You say it's the bank's fault, Yeah, sure. What's up? Or, they might say I'm too busy right now. But then that's where you go into setting expectations. So you say, hey, just so you're aware, I'm just the boring guy here. I'm just trying to gather information about the property, your situation. So the first part of the call is pretty basic, and then it's just really for us to find out more details, what you're trying to accomplish, and see if that's something, we can do for you. At the end of the call, if you feel like it might be what you're looking for, we can talk about next possible steps. How does that sound? And then this is the big one. Can you catch me up to speed? So that's sort of what's called an open-ended question. And so that could be anything. They could go into 3 years ago, I stopped making my payments because X, Y, and Z. Or they could say, well, the house is falling apart. They can go in any direction. So you kind of want to see where they're feeling the most pressure, I guess. So then you can find the solution to that. And then bring it back to this house in Huntington. He was like, I definitely want to sell. I'm just trying to figure out all my options. You're always going to hear that. You're always going to hear people that say, I'm working it out with the bank. 9 times out of the 10, loan mods don't work because essentially what they're doing is they're requalifying you. So if you already can't make the payments, why is the bank going to requalify you and put you into a new loan? So 9 times out of 10, the loan mods, it doesn't really work, I would say. So that's just going to be a follow-up. And you're going to want to find out how much are you behind? How much is your total payoff? Is there an auction date set? Are you trying to stay in the property or start fresh? So that's a big one because really you want to, if you're looking at getting flips or, rental properties, you're going to want to find out, are you trying to stay in the property or are you trying to sell and start fresh? That way, you know that if they're trying to stay, then it's a whole different situation. You're really just going to help them, give them as many resources that they can, and then let them figure that out. If they want to sell, then you can start working at the numbers and make sure that it's even something that can work. Like today, we were looking at a property in Vegas, a fourplex, and they're behind. I think it's probably worth $300,000. They're behind $110,000. So, that's not even, it doesn't really, it doesn't really work, I guess, is what I should say with the numbers. So So really, you still want to, underwrite it and make sure it's something that you can help them with. Because oftentimes, I wouldn't even say oftentimes, but sometimes you're going to come across properties where you help the person, but it's just not a good deal. So you try to help them as much as possible. Do you guys want this script right here? If you guys want this script, then just comment script down below, or just comment an emoji. Comment a fire emoji, and then I'll see it. I'll reach out to you, and I'll get you the script if you guys want this. And then if you need help at all with these sort of deals, let me know. I've done quite a few so far, and it's really fun. So let me show you this other list too. So this is a different list. So let's reset. This is that notice of default. So these are people who are just getting the notice that they're behind. Oftentimes, you're going to run into people who think that they have all the time in the world. It'll be two different types of people. People that think they have all the time in the world, they're like, oh, no, I got it. I'm just barely behind, which some of them are, and then they get caught up. And then there's people who are like completely freaked out about it, and they're like, okay, I probably need to sell, and they're ready to go. So we're going to look up. Actually, we're just going to put in the recording date right here. So this is the date that let me see. Let me go back a little further. So in Orange County, there's 22 that are recorded for notice of defaults. Oh, nope, 9. So you got to click this notice of default right here. You can even come up here and make sure, make sure that it's, whatever you're looking for. Single family, condo. Make sure it's not land. Some people actually go into foreclosure for land. And then, if you want it not on market, then you can say no. But yeah, we got 9 properties right here. One in Anaheim who just got the notice of default, it looks like. We can open this up. Pre-foreclosure details. The recording date, 3/21. So they just got this. So you can reach out to them and see what's going on. Looks like they had it listed at one point. Yeah, it looks like they had it listed, and maybe, let's see how much they owe. Yeah, you can see how much they owe, all that kind of stuff. So PropStream's amazing. I have a link down below if you want to use it. You get a couple bucks off. But yeah, so that's the list that I used. It was the auction list that I used to make $300,000 on a flip. So the main thing is just take action. Like this guy put up. He was really hard to work with, and I kind of see, after working with them, you kind of see why they're in this situation, even though it can be some things that are out of their control. It's also, them being in denial, and it's a lot. Like my mom lost her house in 2008. She didn't know who to trust. She's getting all this advice from people. She ended up just walking away from it because that was the big thing back in the day. It was like, just freaking walk away from it. So it's, what's up, Victor? So it's, Liz says hi. What's up, you guys? So it's like near and dear to my heart because now I look back and wish, hey, I wish I would have been able to do something. I wish that somebody would have come and offered us a solution besides just walking away from the property. And that, a lot of people were in that situation during the crash, but it's just a mindset, and you're getting blown up. You don't know who to trust. So it's about being consistent and making a connection with the person. Let them know you're just there to help, because you are. I mean, I've helped probably a dozen people that I've never bought the property from, helped them just stop the auction by giving them a purchase agreement and then talking with the lender and helping them out as much as I can. And then it's kind of up to them to take it from there. But yeah, we've probably helped, over a dozen people stay in their property. help them, get caught up with other lenders that we know that kind of specialize in this. So it's a really fulfilling niche to be in, and I'm excited to learn more. And I hope this video helped you guys pull this list so you can reach out to these people. You can make that connection. You can help people, and then you can make $300,000 on the flip. Ho, Lopez Investing. Wow, thank you. That's really nice. New to this channel, but I'm already thanking the Lord for guiding me to this channel. Yes, the Lord will guide us to these deals, to these people, to these families that need our help. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to be going live probably twice a week. Once on Tuesday or Wednesday. I'm still nailing it down by myself. And then tomorrow we're going live. I'm going live with my mentor. Check that out at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, the New and Experienced Investor podcast. We usually have guests, but tomorrow we're walking a property up in Lakewood. So we wanted to just do it ourselves just in case we're late. So join us tomorrow, 4 p.m., this same channel. And, bring your questions. My partner and mentor has 40 years of experience. And, let's just get these deals together. All right. So I'll see you guys on the next one, and have a blessed day. All right. Bye.